question, and in part AI it says write x squared plus 8x minus 9 in the form of x plus k squared plus h. So this form means I need to complete the square. So let's complete the square. So x squared plus 8x minus 9 is equal to x squared plus 8x plus half the coefficient of x squared, so 8 over 2 squared minus 8 over 2 squared minus 9. So that's how we complete the square. So it's equal to x squared plus 8x plus 8 over 2 is 4 squared minus 8 over 2 is 4 squared minus 9. Now from x squared I take x. From the plus sign, I need to include the plus sign, and from 4 squared, I include the 4, all of it squared, minus 4 squared minus 9, and the answer is minus 25. So the final answer is x plus 4, all of it squared, minus 25. So that's the answer to part AI. Now in double I, we need to use your answer to part AI to solve the equation x squared plus 8x minus 9 equal to 0. So I need to equate the completed squared form of the equation to 0. So here x plus 4 squared minus 25 is equal to 0. So I need to shift negative 25 to the right. So x plus 4 squared is equal to 25. How can I get rid of the power? So I need to apply the square root, and here the square root. So the 2 cancels with the square root. So x plus 4 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 25, which is equal to plus or minus 5. So x plus 4 is equal to 5, and x plus 4 is equal to negative 5. So what's x? X is 5 minus 4, which is 1. And here x is minus 4 minus 5 minus 4, which is minus 9. So I have two values of x, so x is 1 or minus 9. Now in part B, it says the solutions of the equation x squared plus bx plus c are negative 7 plus the square root of 61 over 2 and negative 7 minus the square root of 61 over 2. We need to find the value of b and the value of c. So now, since the solutions of the equation are negative 7 plus the square root of 61 over 2. So the square root of 61 means, like, it looks like they use the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, how did I figure out that they use this formula? Because I have two solutions, one with a positive sign and one with a negative sign. And I have a square root in the numerator, so most probably they use the quadratic equation. So how can I find the value of b and c? So here I have negative b, and here I have negative 7. So negative b is equal to negative 7, so b is equal to 7. So that's the value of b. Now what's the value of a? So 2a here is equal to 2. So 2a is equal to 2. So a is 2 over 2, which is 1. Now b squared minus 4ac is equal to 61, the value under the root. And b squared is 7 squared, which is 49, minus 4 times a, which is 1 times c. And that's equal to 61. So 49 minus 4 times 1 times c is minus 4c equals 61. I want to shift negative 4c to the left and 61, or negative 4c to the right and 61 to the left. So 49 minus 61 is equal to 4c. So the answer is negative 12 is equal to 4c. So C is negative 12 over 4, which is negative 3. So the value of B is 7 and the value of C is negative 3. Great. Now in part CI, so it says on the diagram, sketch the graph of y equals x minus 1 all of it squared. So this is not a graphing question, so this is a sketching question. So you don't have to get exact values of x and y and draw the graph, so it's just a sketch. So they want to see you being able to like doing a sketch, and the sketch is actually a correct representation of the graph. So it's only a sketch, so it doesn't have to be an accurate graph. So how can I sketch the graph of y equals x minus 1 squared? So for y equals x minus 1 squared, I'm gonna just do a table of values, a really quick one, and take some random values. So when x is 0, y is negative 1 squared, which is 1. When x is 1, y is 0. When x is 2, y is 2 minus 1, which is 1 squared, and the value is 1. And when x is negative 1, y is negative 1, which is negative 2 squared, and the answer is 4. So simply you need to substitute each x value into the equation y equals x minus 1 squared. So let's take an example. When x is 2, so y is equal to 2 minus 1 squared, so it's 1 squared, which is equal to 1. So that's how I got all the values of y. Now let's do a sketch for that graph. So when x is 0, y is 1. So let's say this is x 0 and 1. When x is 1, y is 0. So this is x1, y 0. When x is 2, y is 1. So when x is 2, y is 1. And when x is negative 1, y is 4. So it's almost here. Now we need to draw a sketch. So this is my sketch. So this is the sketch of the graph y equals x minus 1 squared. Now how can we draw a sketch of the second graph, which is y equals to 2x, which is equal to y, or y equals half x plus 1? Again, let's do a table of values. So when x is 0, it's half times 0 plus 1, which is 1. And when x is 1, y is half times 1, which is half plus 1, which is 1.5. When x is 2, y is half times 2, which is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2, and that's it. So when x is 0, y is 1, so it's already plotted. When x is 1, y is 1.5, so it's almost here. And when x is 2, y is 2, so it's almost here. Now we need to draw a straight line connecting the three lines. So this is my straight line. Now, of course, in the exam, you will use a pencil. You will use a pencil and a ruler. Now, in this video, I can't use a pencil and a ruler because I'm explaining that on a tablet. So I'm using my finger to plot all these, or to sketch all these graphs. So this is not the perfect straight line, but of course with using the ruler you will be able to draw a perfect straight line. Now in part II, so the graphs of y equals x minus 1 all of it squared and y equals half x plus 1 intersect at A and B. Find the length of AB. So whenever I have two graphs intersecting at points, at any specific points, this means that the graph of the first equation is equal to the graph of the second equation, which means that the equation y equals x minus 1 all of it squared is equal to half x plus 1. And x minus 1 squared is the same as x minus 1 times x minus 1, and that's equal to half x plus 1. Now x minus 1 times x minus 1, I need to multiply x times x, which is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x, and negative 1 times x is negative x, so negative x is negative 2x, and negative 1 times negative 1 is plus 1, and that's equal to half x plus 1. So I want to shift half x to the left and 1 to the left, so it becomes x squared. Now minus 2x minus half x is minus 5 over 2x, and plus 1 minus 1 equals 0, so these cancel out. So the final answer is x squared minus 5 over 2x equal to 0. So how can I solve for x? I need to take x as a common factor, so what's left inside the bracket is x minus 5 over 2. And that's equal to 0. So the first value of x is equal to 0, and the second value of x is equal to 5 over 2. How did I get 5 over 2? I equated x minus. So first I equated x to 0, and the bracket x minus 5 over 2 to 0. So I shifted negative 5 over 2 to the right, so x is 5 over 2. Now to find the y value, I need to substitute x equal to 0 in any of the two functions. So if I substitute x equal to 0 in the graph y equals x minus 1 squared, this graph, so it's 0 minus 1 squared, which is 1. So y is 1 when x is 0. And if I substitute x equals 5 over 2, so 5 over 2 minus 1, so again I will substitute 5 over 2 into this equation, so 5 over 2 minus 1 all of it squared is equal to 3 over 2 squared, which is equal to 9 over 4. So the y coordinate is 9. So this is 1, and this is y equals 9 over 4. Now the question is, find the length of AB. So here I have 2 points. The first point is 0, 1. The second point is 5 over 2, 9 over 4. So the length of AB is the square root of 9 over 4 minus 1, which is equal, or 9 over 4 minus 1, yeah. So 9 over 4 minus 1, it's equal to 1.25, which is equal to 5 over 4 squared. We need to square it, of course. Plus 5 over 2 minus 0 is 5 over 2 squared. So that's the equation of the length of any line, which is y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 squared under the square root. So y2 is 9 over 4 minus 1, all of it squared is 5 over 4 squared. And x2 minus x1 squared is 5 over 2 minus 0, which is 5 over 2 squared. And the answer is the square root of 25 over 16 plus 25 over 4. So if you put that in the calculator, the answer is 2.8. So that's the length of the line AB. Now in this question, the last question of this paper, number 10. So in 10AI, so I'm given a function which is y equals x to the power of 4 minus 4x cubed. We need to find the value of y when x is negative 1. So I need to substitute negative 1 into the function. So it's negative 1 to the power of 4 minus 4 times negative 1 cubed. And negative 1 to the power of 4 is 1 minus 4 times negative 1. So it's equal to 1 plus 4, which is 5. In part I, we need to find two stationary points on the graph. So to find two stationary points of the graph here, so we need first to find the first derivative. So dy over dx is equal to 4x cubed minus 12x squared. So always to find the stationary points or the turning points, you need to find the first derivative and then equate the first derivative to 0. So the first derivative is 4x cubed minus 12x squared, and that's equal to 0. So I'm gonna take 4x squared as a common factor. So what's left inside is x minus 3 equals to 0. So I need to equate 4x squared equal to 0. So here x is equal to 0. And I need to equate x minus 3 equal to 0. So x is equal to 3. So these are the x coordinates. Now to find the y coordinates, I need to substitute x equal to 0 into this function and x equals to 3 into this original function. So when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, of course, because 0 to the power of 4 is 0, minus 4 times 0 cubed is 0. So the first stationary point is 0, 0. Now for the second stationary point, y is equal to 3 to the power of 4 minus 4 times 3 to the power of cubed. So 3 to the power of 4 minus 4 times 3 to the power cubed is negative 27. So the two stationary points is 0, 0 and 3, negative 27. So that's the final answer. Now in part B, we're given that y is equal x to the power of p plus 2x to the power of q, and dy over dx is 11x to the power of 10 plus 10x to the power of 4, where dy over dx is the derived function, or the derived function. Find the value of p and the value of q. So let's derive y. So dy over dx is simply p times x to the power of p minus 1 plus 2q times x to the power of q minus 1. So here, how can I find the value of p? So the p value here is the coefficient of x to the power of 10, which is 11. And to find 2q, or to find q, 2q is basically the coefficient of x to the power of 4. So 2q is equal to 10. So q is 10 over 2, which is 5. So that's the value of q. So the value of p is 11. And